Hello, and welcome to another edition of Medusa's Kitchen. I'm your host, Chef Greg. Today we're going to make the restaurant version of Cesar salad. I was going to save the from scratch in the bowl Caesar dressing when we get outside and we cook a steak, and while our steak is resting, we'll make a Caesar salad from scratch in a nice wood bowl, and I'll show you how I made it at chef school. But today we're going to show you how we made the Caesar dressing at the restaurant, which is very popular. And I'm also going to show you how I make croutons. Now, at the restaurant, we used to change the oil out on Saturday after we were done at the end of the week. And when we came back to work on Tuesday, we were closed Sundays and Mondays. On Tuesday, we would have fresh oil, and we would fry the cubed up bread in very, brand new oil. And then we would toss it with my seasonings and some Parmesan cheese right out of the fryer so the cheese stuck. And that was our croutons for the week. And then we would do that every week. Every Tuesday we would fry bread in the clean oil, brand new. And on Tuesday we always made croutons. But today I'm going to show you how I make it. I've melted some butter and olive oil. And I'm adding a day-old a nice loaf of day-old bread. Sourdough really works well for this. I also, in that oil, I put a clove of smashed garlic to flavor the oil, but I didn't want chopped up garlic in there because I didn't want burned pieces of garlic on the cubes when we cooked it in the oven. They tend to get a little dark. So what I did was I smashed a clove of garlic, and you could use more or no garlic at all. It's up to you. And I toss my day-old bread, the same kind of day-old bread that we use for the scordella recipe. You could use fresh bread, but the day-old works so much better because it absorbs all that butter and olive oil. They get really nice and crispy. Now, before I do anything else to these cubes, I want to have a sheet pan. You're going to go into a 325 degree oven with the fan. If you have a fan option on your stove, you want to do these on a convection because you really want to dry these cubes out. So I have a little oven that has a fan. I've got mine set at 3 1/4, and I'm going to put my bread cubes on here. And this is where, if you didn't use the fresh garlic, or you didn't have it, or for whatever reason, you could use garlic salt here. But what I'm doing is I'm sprinkling just a little bit of kosher salt. And I got some pepper in here in my mortar and pestle. I'm gonna sprinkle a little black pepper. Remember, sprinkling very high so you don't get blotches of paprika or seasoning on whatever you're sprinkling. And then a little cheese. I'm using a Parmesan cheese. You don't want to toss the cheese in with the bread crumb or the bread cubes, because the cheese will stick to the sheet pan unless you're using a paper like I do. So this is going to go into the oven, 325, about 20-25 minutes. If you don't have a fan, it may take 30 to 35 minutes. But what you're basically trying to do here is just dry this bread out and get it nice and crunchy. So I've already done that ahead of time. I've got the same bread, same way I just made it. Crunchy, but still a little bit of chew in the middle. So, to make this blender, we need 2 cups of mayo. And when I buy mayo at the store, lately I've been buying the avocado oil mayonnaise, because the avocado oil is much more healthier for you. 3 ounces of lemon juice. Just squeeze that. I've got my little squeezer here. 1/2 ounce of salt. 1/2 ounce of fresh cracked pepper. 4 anchovies, and I like to add the oil from the anchovy for just a little extra flavor. And you know, again, you can use as much or as little as you'd like. If you like a stronger anchovy flavor, you can adjust the recipe to your liking. 4 ounces of very good Parmesan cheese, Parmigiano Reggiano would be preferred. An ounce of garlic, and I peeled these cloves. 5 to 6 cloves is usually around an ounce. Depends on the size of your garlic. Again, you can put more or less. If you used more garlic, you wouldn't really call it Caesar dressing, you could call it garlic dressing. And if you added cayenne pepper to it, just like a 1/4 teaspoon, you'd have a beautiful garlic dressing. We need an ounce of good Dijon mustard. From France, preferably. They make the best Dijon mustard as far as I'm concerned. So, 1 ounce, which is a tablespoon. Buttermilk, 3/4 of a cup. And I believe I got everything in there. And I'm going to give this a puree. I got it in my Vitamix. Sorry about the shadow. This is a low cost production. Anyways, you want to blend this until it's smooth. You let it run for about 30 seconds. If you have an immersion blender, you can do that. You know, now the reason why we use the buttermilk is to give it some consistency, you know, to thin it down a little bit so it attaches. You know, perfect. In the restaurant, we would wash the romaine. So the romaine is a little bit wet. You know, I dried it in my little lettuce spinner, but it still has some moisture on it. So the Caesar dressing is going to be a little bit strong. It's going to not be salty, but it's just right on the edge. But once you mix it with the romaine, it's going to be delicious. So when we make our Caesar salad at the restaurant, we put the croutons in first. And I'm going to grab my romaine out of the refrigerator. This is my salad spinner. I like I prefer the glass bowl one because I like to see what's going on in there. And the next thing, let me get this so you can see it. Here's my bowl with the croutons. And we're going to pour about 1/2 cup of dressing right on top of those croutons because we want those croutons. It's kind of like when you're making chilaquiles, you know, the tortilla chips and the salsa, and you simmer the salsa and you add the chips and they get kind of soggy, but they still have a texture to them, a rubberiness, for a lack of a better word. And I love that dish, by the way. But anyways, it's the same concept here. We're adding the dressing to the croutons to kind of soften them up, but they're changed now. All that moisture's out of them. They're crunchy. Now they're going to be kind of chewy. And this is where we add the romaine on top. And then we toss. And with Caesar salad, you want it to be coated lightly because, like I said, it's a very strong dressing. And you know, salads are fresh and crisp and clean. You know, but you want to make sure that it's well mixed and all the leaves are covered. Okay, let's set that aside. Also, forgot to mention that you want your bowl to be cold because you want everything to be cold. You want your salad to be cold. Let me get one of my homemade Medusa platters. Check that out. I mean, come on. So cool. I'm going to be selling these on the website, and website's just nearly done. They sent me a first look at it. We've got some adjustments to make, but boy, it's coming along. It's going to be nice. So you try to get your all your romaine leaves onto your plate. Don't worry about the croutons, because basically the croutons are going to be on top. So, now, normally Caesar salad gets served just like this with maybe just a lemon twist on it. But, you know, I like color. You know, I love it. And so what I'm thinking is, you know, just a little bit of tomato. And I like to put a slice of lemon on here, just to perk it up. You know, and I take a slice and I score it like so. And then to finish your Caesar salad, you do shredded cheese or ground, or you could use a potato peeler and take it right off the piece of Parmigiano Reggiano. And again, just a little bit from a high. Fresh cracked pepper and Caesar salad are like bread and butter. You really can't have a Caesar salad without fresh cracked pepper. And there you have it. Caesar salad done Medusa style. Really hope you try this one. This is a delicious recipe. And again, when you make it, you can adjust pepper, salt, anchovies, garlic, lemon, however you want to adjust it. But this is how we made it at the restaurant, and I'm sure you're going to love it. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next time on Medusa Kitchen. I'm your host, Chef Greg. Be well. Ciao. And there you have it, Caesar salad, Medusa style.